India, a land of immense diversity, also exhibits stark contrasts in development. The southern and northern regions of the country, while geographically connected, often seem worlds apart in terms of economic progress and social indicators. This disparity, evident in various facets of life, has been a subject of much debate and analysis. This essay delves into the historical, economic, social and political factors that have contributed to the development gap between South and North India. While generalizations about entire regions can be misleading, broad trends do emerge when comparing the two. South India, encompassing states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, generally performs better on indicators like literacy, healthcare and per capita income. North India, including states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, often lags behind in these areas. Understanding the reasons behind this disparity is crucial for formulating effective policies aimed at balanced regional development. It is important to note that this essay does not intend to present a simplistic binary of developed South versus underdeveloped North. Rather, it seeks to explore the complex interplay of factors that have shaped the development trajectories of these regions. The seeds of the development disparity between South and North India were sown during the British colonial era. The British adopted a policy of selective development, focusing on regions that best served their economic interests. Coastal areas in South India, particularly those with existing port infrastructure like Chennai and Kochi, became hubs for trade and commerce. The British invested heavily in these regions, developing ports, railways and communication networks to facilitate the export of raw materials. This led to the growth of industries and urban centres in South India. In contrast, North India, particularly the vast Gangetic Plains, primarily served as an agricultural hinterland. The British encouraged cash crop cultivation like cotton and indigo to feed their industries. While this generated revenue, it did little to stimulate industrial development in the north. The colonial focus on extraction rather than holistic development left North India ill-equipped to adapt to the challenges of a modernizing world. Post-independence, South India was better positioned to capitalize on the opportunities of a globalized economy. The foundation laid during the colonial era, with its relatively developed infrastructure and skilled workforce, facilitated industrial growth. The region witnessed a surge in manufacturing, particularly in sectors like textiles, automobiles and pharmaceuticals. Cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad and Chennai emerged as major industrial hubs, attracting investments and generating employment opportunities. North India, on the other hand, struggled to attract similar levels of industrial investment. The lack of adequate infrastructure, skilled labor and a conducive business environment hampered its growth. While there were pockets of industrial development, particularly in and around Delhi, the overall pace of economic transformation was slower compared to the south. Education has played a pivotal role in shaping the development trajectories of South and North India. South India has historically placed a strong emphasis on education, viewing it as a pathway to social and economic mobility. This is reflected in the region's higher literacy rates, particularly among women, and the establishment of renowned educational institutions. States like Kerala and Tamil Nadu made significant strides in expanding access to education, creating a skilled workforce that could adapt to the demands of a changing economy. In contrast, North India has lagged behind in educational attainment. Lower literacy rates, particularly among women, have hindered the region's overall development. While efforts have been made to improve the education system, challenges remain in terms of infrastructure, teacher training and access to quality education, especially in rural areas. Section 5. Governance and political stability. Political factors have also contributed to the development disparity between South and North India. South India has generally experienced more stable governance, characterized by less political volatility and a greater focus on social development. State governments in the south have often prioritized investments in education, healthcare, and social welfare programs, leading to improvements in human development indicators. North India, on the other hand, has witnessed greater political instability with frequent changes in government and a lack of continuity in policies. This has often led to a short-term focus on populist measures rather than long-term development goals. Section 6. Infrastructure. Bridging the gap. Infrastructure plays a crucial role in economic development, connecting markets, facilitating trade, and improving the quality of life. South India has generally benefited from better infrastructure, particularly in areas like transportation, communication, and power. The region has a well-developed network of roads, railways, ports, and airports, facilitating the movement of goods and people. This has attracted investments, boosted tourism, and spurred economic growth. North India, while making progress, still lags behind in infrastructure development. The lack of adequate road and rail connectivity, particularly in rural areas, has hindered economic growth and limited access to essential services. Section 7. Agriculture versus industry, a tale of two economies. The economic structures of South and North India have also contributed to the development gap. South India has a more diversified economy, with a significant contribution from industry and services. The growth of manufacturing, information technology, and tourism has created employment opportunities and fueled economic growth. While agriculture remains important, it is no longer the dominant sector in the south. North India, on the other hand, remains heavily reliant on agriculture, which employs a large proportion of the workforce. However, agricultural productivity remains low due to factors like small land holdings, outdated farming practices, and limited access to technology and credit. Section 8. Social progress and human development. The development disparity between South and North India is also reflected in social indicators. South India generally performs better on indicators like life expectancy, infant mortality rate, maternal health, and access to healthcare. This can be attributed to factors like better healthcare infrastructure, higher literacy rates, particularly among women, and a greater focus on social welfare programs. North India, while making progress, still faces challenges in improving social indicators. High rates of malnutrition, infant mortality, and maternal mortality persist, particularly in rural areas. Section 9. Conclusion towards a more balanced future. The development gap between South and North India is a complex issue with historical, economic, social, and political dimensions. While South India has generally surged ahead in terms of economic growth and social development, North India has lagged behind due to a confluence of factors. However, it is important to note that this is not a static divide. North India is witnessing positive changes, with improvements in infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Government initiatives aimed at promoting industrial growth, enhancing agricultural productivity, and empowering marginalized communities are gradually bridging the development gap. Addressing this disparity requires a multi-pronged approach, focusing on equitable distribution of resources, investment in education and healthcare, infrastructure development, and good governance. A more balanced and inclusive development model that harnesses the strengths of both regions is essential for India to achieve its full potential.